Hello everyone, my name is Remi Lorenz and you're watching Menumons. Today I will be interviewing Brent Tonisson, number one in the world, multiple regional champion, and a Gardevoir fiend. But first, a word from our sponsors. This channel is supported by RareCandy.com, your go-to Pokemon TCG app. Endgame Premium Sleeves, use code REMI for 10% off. And CGC Grading, my preferred grading company. With that, let's start a little game. So, we're going to play a game called Cooked or Cracked. You're going to say cooked or cracked. So cooked being it is bad and cracked being it is good. So I'm just gonna go through a list. You're gonna have a couple seconds to respond. We're gonna start with your basement.
Cooked.
Gardevoir,
Cracked.
Henry Chow,
Cracked.
making a career from a child's game.
Cooked.
Top four at Worlds,
Cooked.
Kangaroos,
Cracked.
Tim Tams,
Cracked.
Emus,
Cooked.
and then being number one in the world.
Cooked.
Really?
Yeah, well, it just says I spent way too much time traveling to events, so
Well, I mean, I haven't traveled that much. But I'm pretty far down there. So
yeah.
I'm just wondering, how did you get into the Pokemon TCG?
Um, so like I collected the cards as a kid. Uh, and then like at school, like I had a Yu-Gi-Oh phase as well, and I was like really young in school. But then around the time like when I was like 11, like I had friends that like bought like the index or something and started playing. And then one of my friends found like a local store. And then from there, like I played at the local store for a bit and then like by the time the new season started, then I learnt about like where battle roads were, which was like league challenges, but back in the day. And then yeah, that 2012-13 season was my first season.
Did you enjoy when you started playing? Like, what did you enjoy the most about the card game?
And it was definitely, and at the beginning, it was like it was actually really fun having like that progression, like because like there was that journey of me like getting from like being at a playground to learning about what standard format was, then learning then getting good cards, like getting the good cards for a deck, and then even then like I guess like winning's fun, but also just like I don't know, the game has like a lot of excitement, just a lot of ends to one were really exciting. I don't know, that was like kind of fun, but maybe because I was like winning almost all of them, so but yeah, I always play the video games as well. So the card game was pretty similar in a lot of ways. The card game was always fun.
You made top four at Worlds in 2015 with Manectric EX as a senior. How did that feel?
And that felt very good. These days I'll look at it, I'm like, yeah, please don't look at my deck. That deck was terrible, and that was the first year I ever played World, so it was really funny because I remember like being in like a group chat with some seniors, and like a lot of them were talking about how terrible their first Worlds deck was and everything. Like they asked them, it's like, what was your first one? Like, yeah, that one you saw that one you saw me with that terrible deck. Yeah, that was the first one. So that's why I was fans.
It's very interesting. I took a bit of time. Like Manectric sets up the Keldeo to do more damage, and then
Yeah,
can switch out, and like a lot of shenanigans there. What?
yeah.
How did you like find out or build this deck?
I don't really remember because like I had the Manectric idea, like I had the Manectric Jinx idea, and then we went from there. Like the problem is like as a kid, I wasn't good enough at like perceiving like I really should have been looking at it. And it's like okay, well let's break down what decks are actually good in the meta. Let's see what I should be playing based on that. What do I think is good? What do I think is gonna get me far? And I'm just like, yeah, this deck seems kind of good. Where like it's not good into Night March. It's not good into Primal Groudon. It's not good into Primal Kyogre. Donphan wasn't even meant to be a meta deck at the time. I like honestly, I don't remember what else was in the meta. Like Manectric itself, like there were like other Manectric builds as well. Like this deck honestly really only had a good matchup into Seismitoad. And consider I hit over half of my decks with Seismitoad or something, it's not bad. This was basically an auto win. So.
Yeah, you it's pretty crazy. There the in the end Don fan or not Don fan, um the Seismitoad Manectric Crobat actually won, right?
Yeah, that was the other deck that we were testing. Like we didn't know any other decks really in the format. It's like if I played that, then I would have actually played a real deck. But that probably wouldn't have paid off for me in the end as much as my deck. It was really funny to say.
Yeah, it was pretty like stacked here. You had Jasper Eriksson, John Ang, and Calvin Connor, and probably
Yeah,
other great players that were
yeah.
around.
Yeah, I hit Johnning round one actually. It's like that was the crazy part. Yeah, he was not happy because he lost to some random player. Like I was a complete no-name and I just destroyed him. Like, it wasn't close. He couldn't do anything.
You really picked up your season from there, though.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where I really got the start though. And that really helped me.
Was there a moment when you realized that this could be a career for you?
Uh I was definitely I'm definitely a little bit slack when it comes to like creating content and like monetizing myself. So I definitely realized the moment in like 2023 when I realized like oh like prize money is like more than enough to get by. So I've definitely got some time to figure things out and that's like really useful. And yeah, I mean I could be doing more things, but finance is not exactly a problem.
Yeah, you made quite a lot this year just from playing.
Yep.
What's been your proudest moment outside the Pokemon TCG?
Yeah, these days I feel like that's like out the window. I mean, okay, proudest moment outside TCG, probably winning VGC Nationals in seniors.
Outside of Pokemon.
Um, I don't know, maybe I mean Hassan has to Toy has to do something with Hassan. Maybe one of the events I qualified for or something. I didn't really perform that well at most of the majors, but I did very well in ladder, like very strong ladder player.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your prep routine like before major regional or bigger event?
Um, so it kind of depends. Like if it's mid format, if I'm just running it back, then sometimes there is no prep routine. Um, but if it's like so that's like one of the reasons why I also play like the same deck a lot is just because I just haven't prepped. Like if people think that I'm like grinding on stuff. Yeah, if you saw how many hours I was putting into the game, you'd be very disappointed. But um, yeah, outside of that, prep routine at the beginning of a format, generally the best thing to do is you want to start by looking at all the decks. Like you want to just create like a list of decks. You want to have a good idea of what the decks you're likely to play against will actually have in them, and then from there you kind of want to you want to like consider a deck. And I guess like the correct way to do it is you kind of have hypothesis on like what percentages you really want in a deck against certain decks to consider playing it. Um, and then from there you've got like the option like it's kind of just a process of until you've locked in a deck, you just test matchups you want to test to get information that might make you decide on a deck. So it's like some certain matchups like, okay, well, this is over 50-50. That might sway me towards this deck over the other deck or something. And then once you've got your deck, you basically just grind every matchup. You want to go as deep as possible, like into the top end of matchups, like the ones that you're most likely to play against, or the really difficult ones. You don't have to go that deep down the meta share. Like a lot of the time, like, if it's a 3 or 4% meta deck, you can get away without any practice if you've like if you're fundamentally good at the deck, and you should be if you've grinded a lot of games into the top end, then those lower meta share decks you don't really need to know them. But as long as you have a thorough understanding of your matchup, then that's kind of what you should be doing. There will be times where you kind of like don't prepare properly, and it definitely happens to all of us. But that's generally what I aim to do.
Just a thought on that. How do you keep your edge with all the travel mediships and coaching responsibilities?
Oh, wait, can you repeat that?
Uh, how do you keep your edge with all the travel mediships and coaching responsibilities?
My edge, I think one of my edges is just really strong fundamentals and also like as I said, like spamming the same deck, even though it's not optimal on a one-to-one event basis. Like I'll just say that like straight up, like you should be like for most people, you should be putting in more effort into an event than I do. And that's just because I play more events than most players. So like when you're playing 20 events a year, the actual testing period per event is 2 weeks tops when you so I can't possibly put more than 2 weeks per event. Most players, if you're playing like 4 or 5 events or less in a year, you should be putting more than 2 weeks worth of work into your event. So like the main reason I keep my edges one, I just have a ridiculous amount of tournament experience. Um, Two, I streamline things and I have I have very good understanding of like what to expect in other decks as well. Like generally better than like pretty much everyone else. Like there's definitely a couple players that maybe have slightly better knowledge than me, but it wouldn't be many. Like we're talking like single digit number of players at best. It's like the meta knowledge definitely helps. Just fundamentals being really strong, just from a lot of tournament experience. And yeah, just streamlining the process. So like not necessarily optimizing per event, but optimizing for the effort and like the entire season. Because burnout is also like another thing you need to make sure like I just have periods of burnout during the season. I just like die at multiple events. So it definitely happens. But yeah, the main way I get that kind of edge is just like I have a few things that I streamline. And I guess with the jet lag it's not that bad. And coaching can be a little bit difficult, but if it was really overwhelming, I would just like not do it for like a couple days or something. So it's not the end of the world.
Would you say that like right now is the top of your career? Like just got first and it's pretty good.
Well, I finished rank one last year, but I
Yeah.
definitely did a lot better this year than last year. That wasn't the case until I won two regionals. I was doing a lot worse than the year before. But a lot of it's definitely like I am getting better as well. Uh, so I definitely feel like I can still get better as a player, which is nice. So it's like there's definitely room to improve, and I think there's only a couple of things that I really want to improve on. It's less than last year. But if once I improve on everything, then I definitely think like being the number one player is possible, but it's very difficult because you have to put in the work as well as the problem.
Yeah. I mean, if you look back on your last year as well, you had the same amount of points, but like the money difference was around $10,000, which is
Yeah.
big. I'm just wondering, what would be like your lowest point in the Pokemon TCG game?
2022 is without a doubt my lowest point. I went, so that was the first year coming back. I was playing Hearthstone still. Like I was grinding the circuit and everything, and like I got burnt out in both games from the grind. Like I wasn't even doing particularly well in Hearthstone. Like I was scraping money finishes a lot of events, but then in Pokemon I was just like burning money. I was making nothing. I went I like lost winning in. Oh, I need to ID for cut down pair into lost the classic at Brisbane. 3-5-1 at EIC. Yeah, I didn't play a single game between those events basically. So yeah, I thought like I was a lot more capable than I was in the game at the time. Like I definitely, if I put more time in, I would have definitely done a lot better. And then after that, 10th at Perth. Honestly, that was an easy miss. Like both of my losses were like kind of unavoidable. Like I didn't actually do much wrong there. It kind of just happens sometimes. And then but Melbourne, I top eighted. Our deck was terrible, but I actually misplayed out of that one. Like we technically had an advantage in the meta though, so even though our deck was terrible, it was like fine. Um, Except like if people grinded the matchup the night before, then it probably would have been rough for top cut anyway. But our group kind of steamrolled through, so so everyone that wasn't me was doing well. NAIC, like I played the same deck at Milwaukee. It was also not that good, but I got top 32. It was a lot easier back then. And then NAIC, we actually swapped to Palcon Teleon. I was like yeah, at the time, like there's no way VIP is optimal, and like we just had quick balls. But the thing is, like I should have trusted Bradner on that one. Bradner's just like the reason why Bradner's just correct on that is Bradner actually ran the calcs on it. Like he ran the expected return, of running like quick balls and what you expect and everything versus VIP, how much of a difference it makes, and then decides like based on how what the expected number of good basics are on his bench turn one, decides how worth it is to run those VIPs versus not running those VIPs. And that's why Brandon was so obsessed with VIPs because he ran the raw calcs. And the raw calcs were saying that you just run four of them, even if your draw engine's terrible. Um, so, so that's why the VIP was correct. And like after that, I'm like I realized that I'm like, no, Brandon's just right. Like he's literally just right. So that's why for Worlds, our group was the successful Palkia and Teleon group at Worlds. It wasn't me particularly. Like I did get really unlucky. Like I definitely made mistakes. Like I could have tied round one. Uh I could have easily tied round one. I could have and then I giga through the last round as well. So I went 5-3 in the end. Oh no, no, I tied the last round instead. Like so I went 5-2-1, bubble out of 32. But that could have easily been like a cash placement.
Right.
Um
You got
yeah.
38th, right?
Yeah. But the thing is like looking at that, I had all three internationals flops. Deepest I got out of regionals was 8. Very poor. And then it was around like sometime after that was when I dropped Hearthstone and started grinding the game again. And then it was like a little bit of a climb to get back
But you
to
did.
higher. Yeah, I did get a bit better, but even then, like 2023, I was still not the greatest player. It was only like 2024 where I started stepping up a lot as well. And like, because I'm like, okay, well, I can definitely do this full time. So that's when I really committed.
What's your mindset going to matchups you know are bad for you?
Um, and obviously, like, I'm a little bit annoyed if I hit them. But I just kind of like, I mean, if it's a bad matchup, if I know it's a bad matchup, then there's a good chance I've tested it, so I know my outs, and I'm just gonna play to my outs.
Yeah. What led you to start Brent's Basement and get into coaching on Medify?
Yeah, so the main reason is like I haven't really done anything with it. And Brent's Basement is just kind of funny, just because alliteration plus basement kind of has like the gamer terminology behind it. So it's like okay, we'll roll with that. Um, so. So the main reason is just because Metafire forces you to have that to run certain things like masterclasses. So even though I haven't really bothered doing anything on that, and like I might in the future, but I'd also like the main reason I don't is because like I have more of a want to get into content instead. But then I've got like this problem is like okay, my content kind of sucks, and that's like it's like I don't really publish things. Like at the moment, I'm in the works of like a season video. It's like so short because it's scripted, and I'm terrible at making a long script apparently. But it is not that bad to be honest, of a video. So I mean, it's technically done, so I could release it. Except it's like short enough to be like a short. So like I would rather go into the content route. I kind of just need to get the right mindset for it. Like I have a good amount of the skills. Like they're not perfect, but they're good enough. So like I kind of just need to get in the mindset of just like pushing out content more than anything.
What's something you learned about yourself by teaching others?
Um, hmm. I mean, I think one thing that I definitely learned is there are certain concepts that I'm really good at simplifying in this game. Like one of the ones that I do remember was like I had a friend who yeah, it was during like 2022 where he was just like, I have no clue how many energies I just conceal cards away versus keep. And like I explained to him the concept that where it's like okay, so the number of energy that you need to keep is equal to the number of attackers you're going to use to close out the game. So if for example, your opponent's at 4 prize cards, then realistically you only need the 2 Palkia V-Star powered up. So I only need the 4 energy plus maybe like one to retreat if I need to at the end of the game. So the amount of energy that you need in that situation is basically just based on prize mapping against your opponent and just being like, okay, well, 2 attackers, they've got 4 prizes. I can't really use more than 2 attackers, so 2 attackers should be enough here. And from there, yeah, I think there's other things as well, like just explaining certain situations as to why like some play might be good or not. thinning cards, explaining like the different scenarios. Like generally the best way to explain that one is to show if someone doesn't really get it, is like show them the extreme scenarios. Like, if you thin one card when there's 40 cards, it doesn't really help that much. And they might not understand that. But then you're like, okay, so if our deck was two cards and I need to draw the other card and I thin out one card, then suddenly it's not like just using that as an example by showing the extreme example, then they'll understand the concept. Even if they maybe don't have the strongest concept of probability in the first place. And obviously that's something that would be useful if you're teaching like a junior who may not necessarily understand probability very well yet. And then you can kind of just teach them that and be like, okay, well, if it's better here, then it's better at every point. It's just not as good. And then they don't really need to understand the percentages. As long as they know how to improve the percentages, that's what matters.
What's one thing you would give to someone who's starting or like someone who needs advice?
I think the first thing you really just need to give them is just teach them the resource and get them to start playing the game. And then once they've got a solid understanding of the rules is when you can really start with the next stuff. So the first thing is definitely like first thing I do if someone gets a lesson that hasn't started is I teach them how to use Limitless as a resource, how to get decks, and then just to start grinding the ladder because that is honestly going to be the best way to just get started. And once you've like got a solid understanding of the rules, basic idea of I guess the meta, you don't really need to, but you probably will pick that up by just grinding the game. Then you can come back. And then you'll start learning things about like basic sequencing, prize mapping, and like just actual concepts.
You've played against a lot of people, like a lot. Which person has challenged you the most?
Oh, which person? Hmm. Who is a person that's challenged me the most? I guess I'm trying to think of like which player. Like this is in tournament or outside of tournament or anything.
Anything.
I mean, it might be Kylin. I'm trying to think like yeah, I would say like Kylin might be the player that's challenged me the most. Um, yeah, this is just very good at finding ways to get back into games.
Yeah, for sure. And then which tournament has challenged you the most?
Hmm. It's like LAIC this year or like EUIC 2019. One of those. It's probably LAIC this year. Like that was challenging. I think after round three, I recognized the name of every opponent day one after round three.
That's
It's
crazy.
rough.
That's
Like it
insane.
just, it was like I got lucky at the local bracket around there. I hit this guy called Vinny Fernandez. That was like that was my local at the end. Like yeah, it's literally like five top name players in a row after that, and it was rough.
What are some things you would like to give back to the game?
I'm definitely with content. Like I have ideas for just like general guide. Like I kind of want to make videos and stuff like that. But the biggest problem with making a lot of these videos is like you really want to try to generalize the examples because you want the videos to actually last like a very long time. But the problem is like it's just really hard to come up with a way to like explain prize mapping, for example, without using an example of a deck. And if you're not using an example of a deck, or if you're using an example of a deck, it kind of can fall off as like a meta relevant thing and you kind of want that content to stay relevant regardless of the meta. So I guess like the thing you can do is you can handcraft certain examples from certain time periods as well. So it doesn't really matter if you just have like the best example for the concept. Like for example, for prize mapping, Raging Bolt has been a really strong deck to show that concept. And that's just because you're like, so you attack and that thing just dies. And so it's like your prize map is just looking at the Pokemon on their board. Like, yeah, if I kill that one, that one, that one, that's six prizes. So it makes it really easy to explain prize mapping. Whereas like explaining prize mapping with something like God of War is like, okay, so you do the same thing, except you don't like take the K, you delay the K. You're like, yeah, I'll take the KO later. I just have to figure out how to get the damage there later. So it's a little bit different, but it's kind of just the same thing with extra steps.
For example, you could monkey dory like 90 damage onto another monkey dory, and then you could like do it again, and then knock
Yeah,
the following turn you knock for game.
yeah,
And that's just like I don't know. Yeah, a lot of new players just need to learn how to do that because it just makes like you so much better.
yeah,
You don't have to burn unnecessary resources.
yeah. Like again, you need to commit to your attacks. You want to be as efficient as possible as committing your attacks to take prizes. Like you want to make sure that your damage is only going towards your prize cards generally. Like there may be certain things where like putting, like 10 damage on something might force them to Monkey Dory that and create like some awkward like checkmate scenario. But usually your damage has to be very efficient.
Yeah. Quick question. Have you ever pet a kangaroo before?
I must have because I definitely have been to my fair share of zoos in this country. Like I definitely have. No, I've at least fed kangaroos. So I'm guessing I pet the kangaroos because I've fed them. So I'm sure that's not that different.
Hey, some kangaroos are absolutely jacked.
Yes, they are. Uh, yeah, kind of scary. They're like a build. Yeah, don't get on their bad side. Although I think it's their claws that are like the scariest part, um, not their muscle. I wouldn't be surprised. Like our human arm muscle is probably naturally bigger than kangaroos anyway. They've like kind of scrawny looking arms, but their claws, like they have claws, they can just shred you apart. So I'm not sure you want to deal with that.
If you could pick a player to like go up against a kangaroo in a 1v1, who would you pick?
Do I need someone to win
They
against
need to win.
they need to win the 1v1. Okay.
I mean, you can put up anyone. They don't need to win.
Okay.
Be throwing into like almost certain death.
Yeah, I was gonna say like Reagan Reds, but I guess I don't think he's winning that one. So, hmm. Okay, who could win? Like, okay, Rahul might be able to win, to be honest. Like, Rahul's pretty big. Bakari as well. Yeah, yeah. I think Justin Bakari or Rahul, those two could probably win a 2v2 versus some kangaroos. So.
A 1v1 tap out match.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, so we know the question. Like, what is it? Like a billion lions versus every single Pokemon. Do you think the lions or the Pokemon would win?
Well, it kind of depends on what kind of lore we're using for the Pokemon. Like, if we're using the video game,
Oh no,
like if
just Pokemon in general. Like every single Pokemon up until this point.
yeah. Well, yeah. The problem is like when you use the lore, like when you have things like, for example, Arceus should be able to 1v1 billion then based on lore. Like there's a certain Pokemon that literally have like powers. Like for example, Kyogre just spawns in on the field. They drown. Every single one of the lions drowns. They're all dead.
You have to remember, a billion lions is a lot. Like
Yeah, I know, but also, for example, a Kyogre could wipe a billion humans as well. So, like, you just
okay.
have a Kyogre and Groudon go crazy, and every human could die. So I'm not sure a billion lions is really doing much.
Well, let's say take out all legendary Pokemon and all like mythic Pokemon, all whatever the OP cracked Pokemon that should
Yeah,
have powers.
but even then, when you use the Lord, there's like certain Pokemon, like Makago, just like touches them by accident. It just like walks past them, and it might like kill too many of them. Like it kind of just sleeps, and then enough might try to attack it and die in trying to do so. It's like it's pretty scary, I guess. Like and like there's certain things like random pseudos or starter Pokemon that have like certain attacks, but they're just like I guess it really depends. 'Cause, like if you're using video game lore, you're like, oh, they'll get too tight before like kill too many of them. But also like who knows what the area of effect attacks, how far they go. That could knock out a lot of them. It's like even then, there's like some pretty strong Pokemon still, and like like the 500, 600 base type. Like Ferrothorn probably kills a ton of them just by existing. You throw a Rocky Helmet on that thing, and like they die by just like touching it.
Rocky Helmet's gonna like
Yeah,
Come
it
on.
just yeah, it sleeps. And like 16 of them die by the time it wakes up.
Just surrounded by the lion.
Yeah, yeah, it's just like 16 dead bodies of lions. Like, oh, what happened?
I mean,
Yeah, I've been late seed.
lions are cooked. Lions
Yeah,
in a chain.
yeah, but I guess if you think about it, it's like, okay, well, maybe enough lions are enough, like, like if you do enough scratches and bites and crunches and close combats, and so like enough, like with enough lions, you could probably get through like the regular Pokemon as long as there's nothing that's like able to just take out some ridiculous number of them.
I feel like earthquake might end them all. Just
Yeah.
one earthquake.
Yeah, I guess like the problem with the lions is just like what is the intelligence gap as well? Because like if a lion's like intelligent and understands like that it can't touch a Mikago or a Ferrothorn, then that would be a little bit
Well,
harder
how
for
could you touch a Ferrothorn? I
it
don't
has iron barbs and everything. So like if they understand like not to touch, then the lions get like more and more of an advantage. Uh like I think that definitely matters, but yeah, I guess it kind of just depends on a lot of these other variables. And like
Okay.
that's why you'll see debates on it because different people have different ideas on what is capable from the Pokemon. Whereas I think everyone's got a pretty good idea of what the lines are capable of.
What would you say that this is definitely like with all Pokemon is definitely just an auto win for the Pokemon?
Yeah, I think you only need like one. If
I
you
feel
take the top end, like Mega
Arceus,
Rayquaza could probably like Mega Rayquaza or Arceus, Primal Groudon, Primal Kyogre, these things can solo the 1 billion.
Light Mane, Necrozma. I'll just end them
Yeah.
without like looking at them.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like Necrozma could just like take all the light from the planet and they would all just die because the plants would die.
Yeah,
So
eventually just like stay up
yeah,
in the air and none of
yeah,
us can get to
exactly.
it.
It chills there for like 3 weeks or something. Actually, you'll need more than that because the lines will start eating each other and it'll take a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be nasty, but yeah, that's how you would beat them.
So would you say that like a lot of people outside of Pokemon don't really know about all the Pokemon's powers?
Yeah.
Like I don't
Yeah, I
know.
mean,
I feel
and
like
for example, you probably don't need that many humans to build to take out 1 billion lions. Like just with the technology that humans have, you probably only need like 20 really skilled humans. Like honestly, with nukes, like less. So so if we can get by with like maybe 10 humans to get rid of 1 billion lions, then we could probably like one Pokemon can do it. So,
I think Arceus is surviving a couple of nukes before it even gets hurt.
yeah, like look, 1,000 humans will beat 1 billion lions. So I don't think 1,000, not in physical combat, but like you got like 1,000 of the best military staff in the United States, and I don't think 1 billion lions stand a chance.
That's definitely true. So I on like the Pokemon lore, right? Are people eating? Do you think Pokemon or sorry, I was gonna say Pokemon are eating people. Do you think people are actually eating Pokemon?
Yeah, I'll definitely mention it. I mean, I'm sure Magikarp gets eaten all the time. Like that's like the most generic fish. It's like salmon, basically. It's like the salmon of the Pokemon.
It evolves into Gyarados while you're eating it. It's over, buddy.
No, I think once you've like cooked it and fried it, I don't think it's evolving.
Yeah. I mean, maybe. Who knows? Fried Gyarados.
Yeah, I
Like
mean maybe that could be a dish in itself.
I know there was something with I don't know, there's like a delicacy with Psyduck maybe.
This, I mean, yeah, it
Oh,
could be.
Slowpoke's
And
tail.
Slowpoke
Slowpoke's tail.
tail, yeah,
Yeah.
Slowpoke tail is yes in
I mean, I don't know if
Generation
that's
2.
eating the Pokemon, but I mean, it kind of is. You're eating its tail, you know.
Yeah,
Like, I don't know. There's
yeah,
it's definitely it's definitely weird, but it's there. People, so to end this, people eat Pokemon, I guess.
yeah, probably.
Um, so let's get back onto the topic of just Pokemon TCG, not lore, I guess. You've already done so much for the TCG community. What's still left on your Pokemon TCG bucket list?
And as I said, I'd rather be making videos as one of my main things that I'm doing. I'd rather be competing less, but competing's the easiest thing out of everything. Like out of everything I do, I'd say competing in tournaments is definitely the easiest part of it. So for most people, that's like insane to think of,
Yeah.
but no, that is generally like genuinely like the easiest part is to play in events. So I kind of would like to shift less on that just because I don't really like the variance with it that much. Like it can be very mentally taxing to just play so many events knowing that like your expected return, like sometimes you can just have like four bad events or something, and
Yeah.
like just dealing with the expected returns and everything is just not the greatest thing. But definitely mentally taxing, I would say.
So, how do you want to be remembered in the Pokemon community, just in general, like
Uh,
PGC, TCG, from now in 10 years?
I definitely want to be remembered as a very good player. I don't think I'll ever be like, I don't know if I'll ever be considered the best player in any year. Like, if I really like locked in, maybe I could. Like, I probably could if I locked in and like really grinded and try to optimize as much as possible. But I don't exactly do that. Like, in theory, it's possible. Like, I didn't think it was possible. Like, I didn't think I would be as good as some of the other players in the top. But like, after this year, I'm like, okay, I don't think that's crazy to say anymore. I definitely think there, like, if I really put in the work, there could be a year where I could really be just flat out the best player in the world, like, hands down.
Yeah.
Like, I think even if, like, at any point in time being considered the best player would be pretty good.
All
Like,
right.
obviously, it'd be nice to win worlds, but winning worlds is a way less realistic of a goal than actually being, like, considered a good player, any, like, being considered the best player in the world.
All right. So, like, we know your Twitter handle is What Goose, and
Yeah.
I want to know, and I feel like a lot of people out there want to know what the origin story is behind it.
It's let loose, actually. That's it.
Really?
Yeah. Like the main reason, like I had to have like a gamer tag in like Hearthstone because you don't really use your name. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess I want to have a reference to Pokemon, but I don't really want it to just be a straight up Pokemon reference. So it's like that's kind of where it came from. But I mean, it is like a Pokemon reference technically, but literally it.
So if you guys don't know what Let Loose was, it was basically judge or yeah, basically judge on a Pokemon. It was like Crobat, but instead of the thing or instead of the ability was judge. And you could play it on your first turn. And it basically ruined the game. Pokemon had to ban it. Like it was that insane.
It didn't get banned in standard. It got banned and expanded at
Yeah.
some point. But it was very ridiculous in standard because you would have like games where you would just go first, like, okay, Ultra Ball, Master Shadow, use it. Oh, I hit Tapu Lily, draw cards, and then my first like draw pass,
Yeah.
and I'm like, okay, cool.
So
I
my
guess I
random,
win.
yeah. So that's why your PFP is a Marshadow, right?
Yeah, on Discord, yeah.
Makes sense. It's all making sense. It's all making sense. Thank you for watching and taking the time to do this, Brent. If you have any shout outs, feel free to do it now.
Yeah, I guess maybe I'll just shout out my sponsor, the Shuffle Squad. Um, yeah, you can check them out on like Metafy and check them out on Twitter.
That's it.
Yeah, I think so.
Any shout outs you want to do? Like testing partner?
Uh, I've got my group, like my main group, but technically we don't. Technically, I don't like some people in the group. They don't. People don't know that they're in the group, so maybe it's like not that good of an idea to shout them.
Shout out the testing group name.
Uh, we don't have a real name. Like what is the main Discord that we're using at the moment? Okay, Aussie Testing Group Discord. Okay, so
Shout
that's
out to
quite
the
literally.
Aussie testing group Discord.
Yeah, that's literally the name of it. Look, that's a crazy name.
All right. As
Yeah.
always, thank you for watching. Watch out for the kangaroos, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.